The silence in the halls of power in Tehran is being broken by the sound of shredders and the zipping of suitcases. For decades, the Islamic Republic has projected an image of unshakable iron will, a fortress that could withstand any pressure from the West or its own people. But if you look past the propaganda posters and the staged rallies, a very different reality is emerging. We are witnessing the frantic final days of a ruling class that knows its time is up. Reports are flooding in from intelligence insiders, airport staff, and financial watchdogs suggesting that a mass evacuation is quietly underway. This isn't just about a few nervous officials taking a vacation. This is a calculated, systematic exodus of the regime's inner circle. They are liquidating assets, securing foreign passports, and preparing to leave the sinking ship before the water reaches the upper decks. What makes this situation so volatile is that the betrayal is happening from the top down. While the supreme leader demands that the average citizen endure poverty and hardship for the sake of the revolution, his own lieutenants are busy securing penthouses in London and Toronto. The hypocrisy has reached a boiling point, and the people on the streets can smell the fear. But the most dangerous element for the regime isn't the protesters, it's the enforcers. The police and security forces, the very muscle that keeps the mullahs in power, are showing signs of cracking. When the foot soldiers realize their commanders have one foot out the door, the entire structure of control begins to dissolve. We are watching a slow-motion implosion, and the fallout is going to be historic. To understand the scale of this panic, you have to look at the Agazades. This is the derogatory term Iranians use for the children of the elite, the noble-born. While their fathers scream "Death to America" and burn flags on state television, these children are living the American dream on steroids. We aren't talking about modest living. We are talking about a level of excess that would make Hollywood celebrities blush. Social media accounts, often private but frequently leaked, show these regime children driving Bugattis in Vancouver, partying on yachts in the Mediterranean, and flashing Rolex collections worth more than a typical Iranian worker earns in 10 lifetimes. For years, this was just an annoying double standard. Now, it serves a strategic purpose. These children act as the anchor points for the exit strategy. They aren't just abroad to study or party. They are the financial bridgeheads. They are setting up the infrastructure, the bank accounts, the real estate portfolios, and the legal residency status that their fathers will need when they inevitably flee. Investigations have revealed that billions of dollars have been siphoned out of Iran's economy and dumped into Western real estate markets. From the bridle path in Toronto to the exclusive boroughs of London, these Agazades are buying up safety. They are the advance team for a regime that has lost faith in its own survival. It's a massive transfer of national wealth, stolen from the Iranian people and used to cushion the fall of the very men who oppressed them. But buying a mansion is the easy part. The hard part is getting the golden passport. In the shadowy world of global citizenship for sale, business is booming and the biggest clients are coming from Tehran. Several Caribbean island nations, as well as countries in Europe that offer golden visa programs, have reported a surge in applications from Iranian nationals with obscure backgrounds and incredibly deep pockets. These programs allow wealthy individuals to essentially buy citizenship by investing a certain amount of money into the country's economy. For a regime official, this is the ultimate insurance policy. An Iranian passport is a liability. It limits travel and attracts scrutiny. But a passport from a neutral Caribbean nation that opens doors to the entire world and, more importantly, provides a legal shield against extradition. This rush for new identities suggests that the elite are terrified of facing justice. They know that if the regime collapses, there will be tribunals and there will be a reckoning. Brokers in Turkey and the UAE are reportedly being offered double or triple their usual fees to expedite these processes. It's a race against time. They need these documents in hand before the airports close or the sanctions tighten further. The sheer volume of cash being moved to secure these documents is staggering. We are hearing rumors of suitcases full of gold and cryptocurrency wallets being exchanged in hotel rooms in Istanbul and Dubai, bypassing the banking system entirely. They are washing their hands of the rial, a currency they destroyed, and trading it for the safety of the dollar and the euro. However, all the money in the world won't save them if the walls breach before they can get to the tarmac. This is where the story gets truly interesting and truly dangerous for the mullahs. The police force, the backbone of the regime's domestic control, is suffering from a catastrophic drop in morale. For decades, the regime relied on the police and the Basij militia to crush dissent with brutal efficiency. But those enforcers are also fathers, brothers, and sons. They shop in the same markets where prices have tripled. They live in the same neighborhoods that are crumbling. The narrative that they are protecting the revolution is wearing thin when they see the leadership living like kings while they struggle to put food on the table. There are growing reports of insubordination that the state media is desperate to hide. In recent months, during smaller localized protests, eyewitnesses have described riot police simply standing down. Instead of charging into the crowds, they hold the line and do nothing. In some provinces, there are rumors of commanders refusing orders to deploy lethal force. This is the nightmare scenario for a dictatorship. A regime can survive sanctions, it can survive foreign pressure, but it cannot survive a mutiny of its own Praetorian Guard. Once the fear of the police evokes, creates less fear than the anger of the people. The game is over. The leadership knows this, which is why they are terrified of their own security details. This distrust has birthed the infamous Venezuela contingency. This is one of the most persistent and detailed rumors circulating in intelligence communities today. The theory is that the top tier of the Iranian leadership has negotiated a safe haven deal with the government of Venezuela. It makes perfect strategic sense. Venezuela is already an isolated state, hostile to the West and heavily sanctioned. It's one of the few places on Earth where an exiled Iranian official would be safe from Interpol. Flight trackers have picked up on curious patterns regarding Mahan Air, an airline with deep ties to the Revolutionary Guard. There are frequent long-haul flights between Tehran and Caracas that carry almost no commercial passengers. What these flights are carrying, according to opposition sources, is physical assets. We're talking about gold bars, hard currency, and sensitive documents. It's a slow-motion relocation of the treasury, but it's not just goods, it's personnel. Technical advisors, security experts, and their families are slowly being rotated out to South America. It's a doomsday bunker strategy on a geopolitical scale. The idea is that if Tehran falls, the leadership can continue to operate, or at least survive, in exile, protected by the Venezuelan military. The fact that they have to look halfway around the world for a safe house shows just how few friends they have left in the region. Even their allies in the Middle East are viewed with suspicion, as political winds can shift overnight. The catalyst for all this panic is the failing health of the supreme leader, Ali Khamenei. He is in his mid-80s, and rumors of his battle with cancer have been circulating for years. In a personalized dictatorship, the death of the leader is the moment of greatest vulnerability. It creates a power vacuum that instantly turns allies into enemies. Currently, a vicious Game of Thrones-style battle is raging behind the scenes regarding his succession. The front-runner is his son, Mojtaba Khamenei, a shadowy figure with deep ties to the intelligence apparatus. But Mojtaba is not universally loved, even within the inner circle. Many of the old guard clerics and military generals see a hereditary succession as a betrayal of the revolution's principles or simply a threat to their own power base. This infighting is lethal. Factions are forming within the IRGC and the parliament, and they are leaking damaging information about each other to foreign press to eliminate rivals. This internal war is distracting the regime from the easy threats on the street. It's a classic case of a snake eating its own tail. The officials who are losing this power struggle are the ones packing their bags first. They know that when the supreme leader dies, the purge will begin. The new leader, whoever it is, will need to consolidate power by eliminating threats, and nobody wants to be on the wrong side of that equation. This uncertainty is fueling the exodus. Nobody knows who will be in charge in 6 months, so everyone is grabbing what they can and running. Adding to the paranoia is the intelligence war. The regime is convinced that they have been thoroughly infiltrated by foreign intelligence agencies, specifically the Mossad. The recent high-profile assassinations of nuclear scientists and military commanders right in the heart of Tehran have shaken the leadership to its core. These weren't drone strikes from the sky. These were up-close operations that required inside help. This has created an atmosphere of total suspicion. Ministers look at their deputies and wonder if they are informants. Generals wonder if their communications are compromised. When you can't trust the person sitting next to you in a cabinet meeting, the instinct is to isolate and escape. We are also seeing a shift in the behavior of the bazaris, the powerful merchant class that historically supported the clergy. In the 1979 revolution, it was the merchants who bankrolled the movement. Today, they are the ones organizing strikes. The economy is in freefall. The currency is essentially worthless, and the merchants are seeing their life's work evaporate. Their withdrawal of support is a death knell for the regime. Without the money from the bazaars, the government cannot pay the militias, and without the militias, they have no control. The wealthy merchants are now joining the exodus, moving their capital to Dubai and Istanbul, further draining the country of resources. The psychological impact of this elite flight on the average Iranian cannot be overstated. Imagine standing in line for hours to buy subsidized bread, knowing that the Minister of Economy has just bought a villa in Spain. It fuels a rage that is different from before. It's not just political disagreement, it's personal disgust. The slogans on the streets have changed. They aren't asking for reform anymore. They are asking for the total dismantling of the system. The people realize that the resistance economy was a lie designed to keep them poor while the leaders got rich. This loss of ideological legitimacy is fatal. You can rule by fear for a long time, but you cannot rule when the curtain is pulled back and the wizard is revealed to be a fraud. We must also look at the role of technology. The regime tries to shut down the internet, to blind the world to what is happening, but the truth leaks out. Videos of the children of the elite partying, copies of land deeds in foreign countries, and photos of passports are circulating on Telegram and WhatsApp channels. Every leak acts like gasoline on the fire. It validates the rumors. It proves to the police officer that he is a fool for standing his post. It proves to the teacher that her poverty is manufactured. This digital exposure drives the panic at the top because they know they can no longer hide their exit. They are being watched, tracked, and exposed in real time. There is also a sense that the West is finally losing patience. For years, diplomatic channels remained somewhat open, but the geopolitical landscape has shifted. The regime's involvement in global conflicts, supplying drones and missiles to foreign wars, has alienated even their potential trade partners in Europe. The elite know that the window to get their assets into Europe is closing. Sanctions are evolving from targeting the state to targeting specific individuals and their families. This is why we see the frantic pace. They are trying to beat the gavel of the international courts. They are trying to turn their dirty money into clean real estate before the freeze orders come down. The implosion is also evident in the crumbling infrastructure. The regime has stopped investing in the country. Power plants are failing, water systems are drying up, and buildings are collapsing. Why? Because you don't renovate a house you plan to burn down. The lack of domestic investment is the clear